Good morning. Welcome to CSL Greater Boston, our Sunday celebration. I'm Reverend Gina, and I am blessed to be here with you this morning, as well as some wonderful friends that are going to help me celebrate this day. The here, the now, the oneness, the beauty, and I am so grateful for them and for you. So thank you for being with us this morning as we celebrate the universe as a hologram. And it's going to be fun. We've got Reverend Dr. Sharri doing the message. I have no doubt it's going to be fun. You know, those of you that don't know what CSL Greater Boston is, let me just share with you. Our vision is an inclusive community based on the love and acceptance that is a healing presence for all through joyful connection, activities, and education. Our mission is a spiritual community that lovingly embraces all races, ages, abilities, genders, and a celebration of diversity through the practice of science of mind teachings and the principles for the betterment of each individual and the oneness of all. In our purpose, we bring about positive change within individuals and the world by teaching and embodying the science of mind teachings and principles and carrying them out into the world. That is who we are. And I am so grateful for you to be here with us and be part of this wonderful family that is CSL Greater Boston. Now, if you're wondering, well, if you're new here and you're wondering, well, what is Centers for Spiritual Living or what we're really about with religious science is we are a philosophy, a faith, and a way of life. And in that knowing, it's about knowing ourselves on a deeper level and the connection and interconnection to everyone and living from that space. So, on that same note, I'm going to start with a beautiful song from a friend of ours, and that it is Reverend Dr. Laura Topper, actually. And her song is Do You Know? The Oneness.
Do you know how beautiful you are? Can you feel the power that you hold? Do you see the light within your heart? Always there for you to have and hold. Have you found the truth in all that is? Will you hold the hand that leads the way? Do you look inside to wake your dreams? Knowing God is everywhere and more. You are the power, it's all inside of you. As you connect within and clear the way, that's all you need to do. I can feel the power that I am. I can hear the voice within my soul, knowing I am God and God is me. I now see the beauty of it all. I am the power, it's all inside of me. As I say pray my prayers and love each day, my light shines back at me. You have it all, it's there in you. I have it all, it's here in me. I know that you can find the way. You can open your heart today. Right now's the time to realize the love we have within our hearts. Just look inside to know the way. You know the way. We are the power. We have it all as one. We can live each day in love and truth, knowing we are free. We are the power. We have it all, it's true. As we close our eyes and realize love comes shining through. As we close our eyes and realize that's all we have to do.
Beautiful. Yes, you have the power inside of you. Each one of us that one power. And knowing that, let's start with prayer. Let's center into this place right here and right now, knowing that there is only one infinite presence. And it's right here, right now. Knowing that this infinite allness directs the sun, moon, and stars. It's who and what I am and why I'm here and right now with you. So, in this knowing, oh, what a blessing to know that this celebration lifts each one joyously, harmoniously, that this celebration of oneness reminds each one of the true nature. I know that the message is amazing, the music is uplifting, the reading is beautiful. I know that each aspect of this service, from the technology to each one called to watch, is perfect. And I am so grateful for it, grateful for the privilege to be here now. So, in this moment, I call it good, I call it great, and I am blessed, as I know each one is. I celebrate it, setting it free in full gratitude. I say amen, and so it is. So as we step into our wonderful, wonderful topic today, I am blessed to bring in our lovely practitioner, Sonia Hart from Barbados, to do our reading this morning. Thank you for being here with us, Sonia. Thank you for celebrating with us.
Thank you so much, Reverend Gina. Good morning, CSL Greater Boston. It's a pleasure to be here. Today's reading is coming from none other than Neville Goddard, the late Neville Goddard, who was a Barbadian. And I'm going to start on page 37 of his book called Be What You Wish. By creating an ideal within your mental sphere, you can approximate yourself, excuse me, to this ideal image till you become one and the same with it, thereby transforming yourself into it, or rather, absorbing its qualities into every core of your being. Never, never lose sight of the power that is within you. Imaginative love lifts the invisible into sight and gives us water in the desert. It builds for the soul its only fit abiding place. Beauty, love, and all of the good report are the guardian, but imaginative love is the way into the garden. So an imaginary conversation, you reap an act. So an act, you reap a habit. So a habit, you reap a character. So a character, you reap your destiny. By imagination, we are all reaping our destinies, whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. Imagination has full power of objective realization, and every stage of man's progress or regression is made by the exercise of imagination. I believe with William Blake, what seems to be to those who it seems to be, and is productive of the most dreadful consequences to those to whom it seems to be, even of torments, despair, and eternal death. By imagination and desire, we become what we desire to be. Let us affirm to ourselves that we are what we imagination. Thank you so much, CSL Greater Boston, and everyone who's present here online with us today. Thank you so much.
And so it is. Thank you so much. And now I get the privilege to introduce a mentor and someone that I love. Reverend Dr. Sharri is an ordained minister of religious science, is a senior minister and CEO of One Heart Retreat Center, an online focused ministry. She opened and operated successfully the first CSL affiliated retreat center on earth for 4.5 years before taking her ministry fully online. She has published two primers of affirmative prayer, Treatment with Training Wheels, and God Talk for Kids, before entering the ministry. Reverend Sharri spent 30 years, over 30 years, as a college educator, and the last 10 of them online. On June 6th of this year, she received her Doctor of Wisdom Studies from Emerson Theological Institute. Reverend Dr. Sharri is the host of the New Thought Media Network weekly interview program Global Focus Today. Education is her passion, and spirituality is her forum. She's a member of the New Thought Media prayer team and volunteers with the Global Heart of Peace Initiative and the Greater Kansas City Interfaith Council. And of course, she is on our board at CSL Greater Boston. So grateful for her personally, for her guidance, her love, and all she brings into the world. Reverend Dr. Sharri, thank you for being here with us this morning.
It is my joy and my honor and my delight to be here. I'm always happy to talk in Boston. I have a title today. My title today is "The Universe is a Hologram," as a hologram. And in the last newsletter, I promised that I would provide proof accepted by all faith traditions that wholeness is our nature, that life is eternal, that we are divine. And I am going to do that, but first I need to lay some groundwork. Everybody knows a hologram as a computer-generated image that can interact with a person. Why do we know that? How do we know that? We know that because it's a part of the plot line of 3 out of 5 TV shows or movies. But do you know what a hologram actually is? It is a 3-dimensional photographic image, yes. But what makes it a hologram is that if you took a holographic plate, which is kind of like a negative, and smashed it into a zillion pieces, every single broken shard would contain the entire image. Nothing would be lost. So that's the groundwork for hologram. Now comes the groundwork for the universe. There is one spiritual truth that is accepted and taught by every faith tradition on earth. And here it is. God created the universe and everything within it. And before God created the universe and everything within it, nothing existed except God. This is where some traditions get a little tangled up because it means that God is the universe and everything in it, even though the universe is not all of God. Is your head spinning a little bit? Don't worry, we'll take it one step at a time. First, before the universe existed, God existed. Comfortable with that, right? Okay. Before the universe existed, nothing existed except God. Still okay. Therefore, the only substance from which God could have created the universe and everything in it was God's own substance. That is to say, God created everything that exists out of itself. That's why in Science of Mind, we teach that God is everywhere equally present. We also know that God is infinite. So the hook here is that while everything and everyone in the universe is within God, made out of God, and therefore divine, the universe does not actually contain God because God cannot be contained. Instead, the universe is an expression of God, and so is every single person, place, or thing within it. You're starting to see where I'm heading here, right? God is in everything, but not contained by anything. All of creation is within God and completely saturated by God. To examine any of God's creations is to examine God itself. So each of us is one of those holographic shards I mentioned in the beginning, a perfect expression of all that God is. This is important. You might want to write it down. There is nothing that is part of God that is not also part of you. There is nothing that is part of God that is not also part of you. That's where the idea of wholeness comes into play. God is whole, right? No question there. Each of us is a perfect expression of all that God is, right? Accepting this truth, how could anyone not be whole? I know there are lots of physical challenges, and they're part of the human experience. The wholeness we're talking about is experienced through a shift in consciousness. Ernest Holmes told us to change our thinking in order to change our lives. And many others have taught that same concept over the years. Here's why it works. We are spiritual beings expressing divine ideas in a physical world. And we get to choose how we see that world through our consciousness. There is one caveat I want to state here just for the sake of completeness and clarity, and that is wholeness and healing are not synonyms for cure. The idea of curing an illness or challenge is working only in the world of effects. But in the science of mind, we learn that the world of effects is molded by the world of spirit, by consciousness, in other words. And consciousness causes physical expression. No matter the troubles we face, we always have infinite opportunities to see them rightly. It's always possible to shift our consciousness about how we see them and to experience a healing. Because we live in God's heart. By the power of our beliefs, we can invite the perfect love of God to bring us to a place of wholeness. This is not a new idea. The master teacher Jesus advised that we seek the kingdom of wholeness first. He called it the kingdom of God, same thing. And then the things of this world will be added to our lives. To be whole in consciousness results in being whole in our physical life. Our new thought approach to seeking the kingdom is to utilize the spiritual practices of prayer, meditation, visioning, and speaking affirmations. Those are wonderful tools. And we use those tools to shift our consciousness. Other practices include gratitude, my personal favorite, forgiveness, and compassion. And in utilizing these tools and practices, we are steeping our minds and hearts in a conscious awareness of our unity with and in the divine. Now, while seeking the sacred dimension of life first is sound spiritual guidance, we also know that Spirit provided us with tools for living an elegant life. We weren't created to be just a little piece of a picture of God. Everything God is included in every one of us. So God didn't just fashion us after its own image and place us in the garden, and it gave us dominion over life. It put us in charge of the bus. We are acknowledging that controlling our conditions is not our highest spiritual calling, but exercising our dominion can help remove the distractions of disappointment, failure, probably the most common, feeling less than. So we take charge of our life. We practice dominion and we clear the circuits of our consciousness in order to make ourselves ready to experience wholeness, to be wholeness, to feel the truth that we are whole. Our sense of wholeness often has to do with our expectations, and our expectations have to do with our desires. On the deepest level, our desires are actually our yearning to experience the qualities of God in our lives. We inherently know that deep within us is pure wholeness, and we want to feel that. Joseph Campbell said, we all want to feel the rapture of being alive. I would say we all want to feel the rapture of being divine. Sometimes we try to experience this rapture through a relationship with someone else. That means we have expectations, and when they're not met, we feel incomplete. It feels like disappointment or anger. But the more aware we are of the expectation behind the anger or the expectation behind the disappointment, the healthier the emotion is in our life, and the better chance we have of learning from it, blessing it, and letting it go. In other words, the more conscious we are, the more real our sense of wholeness feels. It is Spirit's greatest desire to give us the kingdom. Jesus said that. It is God's great pleasure to give us the kingdom, to give us a life of wholeness. And we were created in the full expression of the life and power that created the universe. We have been created in the complete and perfect image of the divine, and we have been given the depth of heart and the tools to elevate our awareness to the level of a whole life. After all, each human mind is a point of consciousness in the mind of God. Our responsibility is to do the work, to cultivate the perception of oneness through our prayers and meditation, to exercise dominion by living mindfully, and to look at our expectations, understanding what it is we are truly seeking. Pema Chodron, in When Things Fall Apart, she was a Buddhist monk, is a Buddhist monk. In her book, When Things Fall Apart, said, just as a jewel buried in the earth for 1,000,000 years is not discolored, our noble heart is not affected by our kicking and screaming. The jewel can be brought out into the light and it will glow brilliantly. No matter how committed we are to unkindness or greed, our heart is completely whole. Hafiz, one of my favorite poets, said the same thing, but a different way. The beloved said, my name is not complete without yours. I am made whole by your life. Each soul completes me. I love stories. So here's a story that illustrates this idea of wholeness. Once upon a time, there was a man who was searching for the ultimate truth. And he was told to go to a cave. And in the cave, he would find a well and the answer would be shown to him. Ask the well, what is truth, he was told, and a well will reveal it to you. So he found the cave and he went inside, and sure enough, there's the well. So he asked the well this question, the biggest question on his heart: what is truth? And from the depths of the well, there was a reply: go to the village crossroad. There you shall find what you are seeking. That was just my imitation of a well. Filled with hope, the man ran to the crossroad, and all he found was 3 sort of ordinary looking shops. One was selling pieces of metal, another was selling pieces of wood, and the third sold little thin pieces of metal. Nothing and no one there seemed to have much to do with the revelation of truth. And he was really disappointed, so he went back to the well and he demanded an explanation, but he was told, my favorite thing, just wait, you'll get it. Just wait, you'll get it. Feeling that he had been made to look foolish, he left the cave and set out on his own quest, seeking the truth in his own terms, in his own way. Years passed and he got older and he moved more slowly and more deliberately. And he began to take more time being in his life, being more present with what was before him, seeing things more completely. One night he was walking through a village, and the sound of sitar music caught his attention. It was beautiful, played with great mastery and inspiration. And he was deeply moved. So he sat at the sitar player's feet, and he watched the musician's fingers moving over the strings. And he began to intently see the sitar itself. And in that moment, the light came on. He realized that the sitar was made out of wires, little thin pieces of metal, other pieces of metal, and wood, just exactly the things that were sold, that he had seen sold years before in the 3 stores at the crossroad. He understood at last the message of the well, that he'd already been given everything he needed, and that his task was to assemble it and use it, put the pieces together and use the tool. Parts of our lives seem not so meaningful as long as we perceive only separate fragments. But when we see the fragments as parts of a whole, a deeper, more vivid reality of meaning emerges. So how do we go about putting this into practice in our own lives? Eckhart Tolle said, listen to this is probably the best piece of advice you'll ever get. When listening to another, don't just listen with your mind. Listen with your whole body. What really matters is the being, with a capital B, of the other person underneath the words. This is the realization of oneness, which is love. Find where you are called to listen more deeply in the world. Can you see past the surface and experience the being with a capital B? Can you accept that, in fact, in truth, wholeness is our nature, life is eternal, and we are divine? There's the truth I promised you, in your own consciousness, in your own self. So you might ask yourself these questions and then listen for the answers. Listen for the answers that come through guidance and inspiration. First question, what is your definition of wholeness? Or better yet, what is your definition of you being whole? Second question, what limiting belief or idea have you held about a lack of wholeness that you're willing to release now? And third, think about a time, a moment when you felt whole, when you felt absolutely one with God or the universe or life. And look for ways you can feel that feeling now, right now, no matter when now is, every now, every moment. Let's take this into treatment, shall we? I'm going to share with you a prayer that was written by Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson about 3 years ago for a class of CSL ministers that he was teaching American Sign Language. And so I'm going to say the prayer out loud, but I'm going to sign it while I'm at it. God is all there is. The presence of life, love, happiness, and wisdom. All of these things are here now. This list is true about God. That means this list is true about me. True biz. God and me separate? Impossible. Only God is all things complete. I accept and allow my mind, my heart, my life to express the wondrous nature of this list, which is in, through, and as me. Wow. It is so good to be alive, to demonstrate love, peace, health, happiness, and so much more. I gratefully surrender this prayer. And the law accepts and acts upon it. This means what? That prayers are answered later? No. The answer is complete now. Amen. Aho. Ashe. And so it is. Namaste.
And I'm going to ask you, Reverend Dr. Sharri, to do our affirmation this week.
Oh, my pleasure. The affirmation is, I am made in the image of the divine, living a whole life.
And I think we can all say that together again. I am made
in the image of the divine, living a whole life.
And so it is.
So it is.
Beautiful message. Beautiful message. And thank you so much. And your exuberance is just, it's fabulous. And this song goes clearly with, you had chosen this song, When I Hear Music by Daniel Nahon. So let's listen to these words and let Reverend Dr. Sharri's words settle in.
So I came to the fork of the river, and I didn't know which way I should go. I had no map, no compass, no driver, precious little information to show. It can be hard in this life to make decisions, and it's an altogether common thing to fail. But as I surveyed my current situation, I decided to just go ahead and sail. There is no one way, there is no foolproof plan, no fateful final chance. I just wake up each day, do the best I can, and when I hear the music, dance. I confess I get confused quite often. Seems sometimes I hardly ever get it right. But I think life's about just facing fear and trying. So I just point my little boat towards the light. There is no one way, there is no foolproof plan, no fateful final chance. I just wake up each day, do the best I can, and when I hear the music, dance. So whatever you're facing, just remember this. That control you've been craving cannot be. Just take a long, deep breath and surrender it. You'll be alright. You'll see. There is no one way, there is no foolproof plan, no fateful final chance. I just wake up each day, do the best I can, and when I hear the music, dance. There is no one way, there is no foolproof plan, no fateful final chance. I just wake up each day, do the best I can, and when I hear the music, dance. There is no one way, there is no foolproof plan, no fateful final chance. So just wake up each day, do the best you can, and when you hear the music, dance. When you hear the music, dance. When you hear the music, dance.
What a great song. Yes, let's hear the music. But it's so important that we listen for the music. It's always there. Let's pay attention. Let us be in this place of knowing that we have all we need and actually looking beyond the immediate and really feeling Spirit's call. So, thank you so much. It was a beautiful message, and I will listen to it again. And I encourage you to same. And we've got a couple of announcements I want to share. I have been mentioning to save the date. They are now, they definitely can, there's reservation, you can put in your reservations. February 19th to the 22nd, Charleston, South Carolina, for the wonderful retreat for CSL. And if you need more information on that, you can go online. If you need me to help you find it, just let me know. And of course, our next in person service is December 10th. Hope to see you there in Medford. And our Thursday night sacred circles at 7. So many different wonderful messages, different people coming together for a sacred conversation. Truly, always a gift. Now it's time for our law of circulation. Giving activates receiving. So if you have been spiritually fed here, I encourage you to, you can go to PayPal, you can go to Venmo, you can mail in a check if you need to, whatever works for you. And know that what you give helps us grow, helps us to be in the world, of the world, and really being in the place of growing and allowing people to know this message, to know this love in a different way. So I encourage you to, you can click on the links right below wherever you're watching this. There are links to take you there. So thank you. And as we finish up for this Sunday, I wish you a fabulous week. May your heart be filled. May you spend more time in the mystical than in the chaos, in the magical, the absolute than the drama. We get a choice. in this oneness, in this place of peace, we get a choice. And what I do know is that you and I, each one of us, is the face of God in this oneness. And that's what we're going to end on today. The Face of God by Karen Drucker. So let's just, I know Reverend Dr. Sharri, we're going to see if we can get her in there to try to do some signing with it. We'll see how that works. But if not, you've got the song. Just know that I love you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you, our practitioner, Sonia. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Sharri. Thank you for watching. So many blessings and love. Namaste.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu es l'image de Dieu. I hold you in my heart. Tu es l'image de l'amour. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu sei la luce di Dio. I hold you in my heart. Tu sei il volto dell'amore. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of God. The face of God. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are a part of me. A part of me. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. Eres la luz de Dios. I hold you in my heart. Eres la cara del amor. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. 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 La luce di Dio. You are the face. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. L'image de Dieu. You are the face. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. La luz de Dios. You are the face. You are the face of God. You all the faces